Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Shoshana, and I am a guide to life. I help people navigate through life-changing events and through the spiritual awakening. And I want to talk a little bit about how you are the one that is holding up your glass ceilings. When you have false beliefs and when you have glass ceilings, so the false sense that I am not worthy, I am incapable of, or all of these illusions that keep us in this box, that keep us held tightly in the illusion that we can't break out of. And they're inside. We always have this yearning that wants to break out, there's more to life. There's more to this. I want to be an expression. There's a yearning inside to find always, what was I made for? Where do I belong? How can I be in expression? What is my gift? And through societal conditioning, we are always brought back down and we adopt uh, um, these false beliefs that we cannot step out, that we have to keep ourselves small. And it plays out in everybody's life, it plays out different. But everybody has this feeling inside that there's more, that I want to break free. I want to, if you're watching this video found you for a reason. It could not have showed up in your feed even if it was not relevant to your processes through the spiritual awakening and truth seeking. So you can already trust in that. And I wrote down a few things this morning. There was so much coming through, and I just started making notes so that I could get it out. And I wrote here, you are holding up your own glass ceilings, and when it is false, it is hard work. So when you're holding up these false beliefs about yourself, about the world, about your surrounding, it is hard work because you don't have a leg to stand on. When you are holding up false beliefs about yourself, especially that I am incapable, or people don't like me, or if I speak my truth and people really see who I am, they're not going to like me, or I am unworthy, or I can't do that, options are open for other people, but they're not open for me. And so then, and you are afraid because fear is holding us in place. Fear isn't allowing us to go out on the limb and to try something, because what if I lose everything that I have? What if I try to make a change and I look like a fool? And so I have a phone call. I'll come right back. So we can have this inner yearning to make changes, but it is fear that is holding us back, and the belief that we are incapable, some kind of underlying belief that was put there in early childhood usually, or sometimes we did step out and we had some kind of experience that made us shy away from it. And so really, when you break it down, we are the ones that are holding up our own false glass ceilings. And when you are holding up this glass ceiling, it's like you are afraid of your own self, afraid of your expansion. I know how to do this, whatever it is that I'm doing. I may not be satisfied in it, but I have it, and it gives me some kind of security. So I am not willing to put that on the line and to jump out and make a change that maybe I will have this grand life. But I'm also afraid of losing and holding on. And so I continue to hold on to the old, or I'm waiting for the right moment, or I can't right now because I have all of these obligations, or I don't know how to do that, or there's all sorts of stories that we make up in our minds that continuously hold these glass ceilings in place. which is really a kind of like a cop out. It's kind of like giving up on your own self or giving up on your dreams or saying, that extravagant or really cool things are possible for other people, but not for me. And it's really a disbelief in yourself. It's feeling that you are incapable, unworthy, that things don't work out for you, that those options aren't there for you. And as long as you are alive, there are multiple infinite options open for you in every moment. Every moment is the starting point of the rest of your life. And your conditioning is just that. It's conditioning. We are so, you could just look at, we're so flexible and malleable as human beings. Our minds we have this magnificent tool. This body, our mind, is a magnificent tool. All you have to do is look around the world. Look around the world at the different cultures. People have been conditioned in so many different ways. Look at languages. People can speak multiple different languages. So you can see that all it is a training. And you are teachable, right? You can learn things. So as long as you can learn things, you can learn a new way of being. You can learn how, everything that you want to do in life is a step of is just step after step of cause and effect, right? So if you want to build a business, right? So there is a map from where you are to the top of that pyramid, to that business being built in the physical world. And all it is, if you remove the emotion and the fear and all of the turmoil and I can't do it and now I'm going to step out of it, my comfort zone. I'm so comfy here. When you take all of that away and you just, if you were to lift up out of your body and just look, all it is steps to take. Okay, so here's a step. You don't have it solved yet, right? But you can get to that step and you can solve it when you get there, because within that step, there are multiple smaller steps. So the glass ceilings of it is not possible for me, or I can't do it, or nobody in my family has ever done it, it doesn't apply. It is, and when you are the one holding those falsities in place, it is painful. It is difficult. It's hard work to hold all that in place because, first of all, you're always guarding and protecting those false beliefs, right? Because if somebody comes to you and says, hey, you can do it, and you're like, no, I can't. And then you have to start bringing up all of the reasons that you can't. You have to conjure it all up. And when it's false, you don't have a leg to stand on. And not only are you holding up this falsity and you're always trying to reconfirm it to yourself, you're also abandoning your true self because you're out here looking at all these falsities. And when you quit looking at the falsities, you just ignore them. Those don't apply to me. Now they're going to come up because they are getting prime time in your life. They are getting full focus in your life right now, right? It's like you could see it as an entity that is within you, a demon, an entity which is within you that is receiving expression in the world through you. If you are not adopting those ideas die. Anything that is dying doesn't want to die. It's kicking for its life. So that's just like the video that I said before, when you have that trickster within you that comes back and tries to trip you up and tell you the stories. And no, you can't do that. Of course you can't do that. Just stay comfy, sit on the couch and watch TV, right? And so when you can start ignoring them, it's as simple as that. You quit giving power to those false beliefs. If you quit paying attention to them, they quit getting airtime in your life. They quit existing. So you have to start telling yourself a different story. Every time you feel some kind of weakness coming in, every time you feel that oh, I can't do that, start saying, oh, yes, I can. I'm choosing not to do it. I am choosing right now because of this and this and this. Continue the thought process and tell yourself a different story. And it feels so much different when you empower yourself from within and stop trying to, it's going to come up because it is the regular way. Those neurons are already, those paths in your mind are so used to being thought that way that you, many times you don't even notice that you're doing it when you're doing it. But anytime you catch yourself, fix it, just like that, fix it. And when you quit paying attention outwardly to all of I can't, and you start looking inwardly at what can I can. And at the inner being, at your inner place, there is a light. And if you take your attention off of all of this outer shell that you built around yourself, this outer shell that is holding you in, and you start looking at that inner light instead, that inner light will begin to expand. And while that inner light begins to expand, it is going to be pushing at your outer limits because it's going to want expression. Now you're focusing on your talents, on what you're good at. And you can even just imagine it as a light if you don't know what you're good at and you can't quite put it into words. And deep, deep, deep down inside, you know what you're good at. Even if you're afraid to call it by name because you're afraid to hope because you might be disappointed. How can I say I'm a guide for life? Because the knowing in that has become so strong that it is the strongest voice within me. And it is a knowing of knowing myself. And when you get to that place, it is beyond you. Your gift has to come out. And so when you start looking at that inner light and expanding it, you could see it as a light, or you can start focusing on gifts that you have. Say, oh, I'm really good at that. Start focusing on what you're good at. If you start focusing on what you're good at, you're going to start feeling better with yourself. You're going to start building your own confidence. That light is going to start expanding. Now, not only is that light going to be expanding, this outer shell is going to begin to cracking because you're not paying attention to it. You're paying attention inward. So you start focusing inward and it's going to go in, out. Once you start focusing, and just keep your eye on the inner self, keep your eye on your worth, keep your eye on the good things about you, keep your eye on that inner voice, that vulnerable, inner soft, good being that is pure goodness and pure love. And just pay attention to that. That will start growing, even if you don't know where you want to be or how you're going to get there, and you're afraid of even going out into social situations because what is the world going to think of me? It doesn't have to be this massive of a task. It's as simple as looking at what you're good at, and that will grow and it will grow and it will expand and it will become the main point of your life. So when you are holding up those false beliefs, your false glass ceilings, know that it is you that are holding them up. And it is much more difficult to hold up falseness than it is to stand in the light. Because when you stand in the light, you're standing in truth. When you're holding up that falseness, you keep on having to think about it. You keep on having to prove it because it has no legs to stand on, because you are greatness. You are divine. You are of the divine. You are a magnificent, magical being. I mean, look at this. Every single one of us is a piece of earth with life flowing through us and life light in our eyes. I mean, just that is a miracle in itself. It's the proof of it, the thing in it. And so when you can see that if you are feeling small and feeling like you have these glass ceilings, it is you holding them up, and that it's so much more difficult to hold up falsity than it is just to turn inward and go towards the light. Turn inward, go towards the light. If you feel yourself out here on the outskirts, close your eyes, turn around, see your inner self as the space. And inside the middle of that space, there is a bright, 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 shining light. And just fall into that light. Go into meditation, just fall into that light. That light will go and expand. And all of your outer shells will start cracking and start imploding on themselves. And slowly you'll see how, slowly or just in the bat of an eye and a heartbeat, Sometimes the change is just so quick. When you are ready and you feel like you're about ready to explode inside, it just happens instantaneously, and everything that you have already gained in your life, all of your life experience is right there backing you up. All of a sudden you see, and it's like, oh, it was always there. It was always there. It was waiting for me to stand up and back my own self up, to quit hiding from my greatness. And you can do it, and you are the only one that can do it. And if I could do it, you can do it. Anybody, you have greatness within you. Just find that greatness and believe. Find the belief the size of a mustard seed. And okay, so also, oops, I already said it, but I just want to articulate it again. When you are holding up those glass ceilings, you are abandoning your true self. And so not only are you out here in the falsity, holding up falsity, you don't have your own self backing you, so it's more difficult. It's you have to it is it takes effort. There's so much effort in it, and then you always feel frazzled because you feel lost. Whereas when you go into that inner light and you have that divine knowing that you are connected to everything that it is, and that you are divine, and that you are worthy, and that you are one of a kind, and the only one that ever was, and the only one that ever will be of you, exactly you, and only you can express that expression, then you start having power, and the power of the whole world, the whole universe, your God is backing you up and wanting for your higher good. And so I am sending you guys so much love. If you want personal guidance one-on-one, my contact information is below. Thank you for watching.